everyone, Sarah here. Welcome to Bringin Back Botany episode 4. Thank you everyone who continues to watch, and thank you for recruiting new people to watch us. And so we're going to keep going. I hope everyone's doing safe and they're relatively healthy during this coronavirus quarantine that's still ongoing. But with that, we're going to go find some plants, we're going to have some fun, and yeah, let's go do it.
Alright everyone, we've got a new plant in front of us, and yes, this one's actually kind of big and shrubby. And so the plant that we're looking at is green wild indigo, or Baptisia sphaericarpa. It's in the Fabaceae family, so it's bean, pea, legume family. And let's get a little bit closer look at the bush in itself. And so we're looking at the vegetation and the flower of green wild indigo, and green wild indigo has these creamy to dark yellow blooms, and it typically blooms in this part of the world between March and May. And so since it is a Fabaceae species, it's got a fairly distinct flower in that it's composed of 3 parts: the wings, the banner, and the keel. And so the flower of wild indigo is going to have 5 petals. The blooms themselves are going to be about 1 inch long, and the blooms are going to occur on the terminal ends of the branches. Also, the leaf arrangement on green wild indigo is going to be alternate on the stem, as we can see there, and these leaves are going to break out into leaflets of 3, as we can see between my fingers. And another interesting thing to note is that on the vegetation of this species, as they mature and grow towards the terminal ends of the branches, you may actually see leaflets of 1 or 2, and that's just because they haven't fully matured to have the leaflets of 3. And so as we can see at this leaf over here, we've got 2 clearly defined mature leaves, and we've got a 3rd one coming up there on the left. Alright everyone, I've got a new grass in my hand, and the inflorescence that you can see in my hand is from the grass known as Carolina canarygrass, or Phalaris caroliniana. And so Carolina canarygrass is going to be a solitary or tufted annual species. It gets to be about 90 centimeters tall, and it's common in disturbed sites. And so you can tell morphologically the seed head is pretty weird. And so the seed head, the inflorescence is going to be a contracted panicle, and it's going to be very dense in spikelet arrangement, and it's going to be cylindrical, as you can see. I mean, it kind of just looks like a lot of leafy green bracts up in the top of the inflorescence there. And so morphologically, going down the stem, canary grass is unique in that each of the leaves coming off at the nodes kind of envelop the stem of the grass, as you can see there. And that continues further down the stem as well. And so at every node, you can see the leaves envelop the entire stem. So I have the inflorescence of canary grass in my hand, and like I said, it's a contracted panicle. So all the spikelets are basically oppressed to the rachis, or the central axis of the inflorescence. And all those green wing-looking things are spikelets, and within the spikelet, what makes canary grass unique is that there's going to be 3 florets, 2 of which are sterile, and the central one which is perfect, or meaning it is capable of reproduction. And the central floret, the upper one that's perfect, is actually going to be somewhat pubescent. So that's one defining characteristic if you can actually dissect the seed head in the field. Elsewise, this almost cigar-shaped green inflorescence is pretty characteristic, along with the wings around the stem that the leaves create. Alright everyone, we're coming at you with the new species of plant in front of us. And so the pink flower that we're looking at is violet wood sorrel, or Oxalis violacea. It's in the Oxalidaceae family. Typically blooms from March to May, and then again from October to November in this part of the world. And so this is a really low-growing species, kind of sprawls along the ground, and the plant in itself actually can come from underground runners. And so it's a colonial forming species. The flower, as we can see, it's 5 petals, can range from lavender to violet rose, and they're wide spreading. Can be about 2 centimeters across, and 3/4 of an inch across. Flowers are 1 to several, forming at the ends of the branches there. The stalks are going to be leafless, and the flowers are going to close at night during cloudy weather. So as you can see, the flower in itself is kind of unique. It's got these darker veins in the center of the petals. And so that's one way to distinguish it. And then it's got that green coloration in the center where the reproductive organs are. And a final distinguishing note on this species is the leaf arrangements. And so the leaves are going to be arranged in leaflets of 3. They're going to be very wide and broad. And let me put one out in front of the camera. They're going to kind of look like hearts. And so violet wood sorrel blooms twice, March to May and then October, November. A pink to lavender 5-petaled flower that can be about 3/4 of an inch across.